Not too much.
So I'm here with Echo Black, right?
That's it. Yep.
How are you guys doing tonight?
Fantastic. Great. Nice and great day. Yeah, it's been a good day.
How are you?
I'm alive. I'm doing as good as to be expected.
Literally all we can. Yeah, all we can hope for.
I'm at a show, so that's always a plus.
Welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for creating music.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
So, speaking of music, first question. What got you guys into music?
Okay, go around that table on that one.
I was going to say, how do you want, we're going to go around the table, I guess. I think there can be different answers.
At what point? Like, what got us to begin making music, or music in general, or?
I guess more so, what's that pivotal moment? What's the moment that you knew that this is something you wanted to do, or something to just, if anything, indulge in?
Okay. When I was younger, I ran away from military school to go see the Bouncing Souls, and to be a part of that. That's how it's been since.
It wasn't Little League, it was something I was good at. It was something that we started doing in school. I saw, I had my godfather played in a bagpipe band, and I was really interested in the drummers when I was a kid. And I just kind of gravitated towards it. Started doing it in elementary school, kept going. Started going to, my parents took me to see Ringo Starr in his all-star band when I was in 4th grade or something like that. And Peter Frampton was in the band, and Billy Preston, and I got to see that. And I see Aerosmith the year after that. I was just like, if that's something you can do, then that's what I want to do. Whatever capacity.
Yeah. The first time I ever performed on like an actual stage, so it was church. I was like 5 years old, and I had like it was my big. I remember it very distinctly. Telling my mom it was my big break. I was 5 years old. I was like, "This is my big mom. This is fucking it."
This is it.
And it was like the lamb in the the recital or whatever, like some whatever play.
With it.
I was 100% a lamb, and I had a lamb costume. Anyway, that was like from that moment on, I knew I wanted to be in music in general. I didn't think I was going to be a performer until senior year of high school, because I wanted to be an architect forever. And then senior year came around, and I had always been in choir and in shows and in band. Bill and I went to high school together, we played marching band together, we did shows together. But I never thought it was going to be a future thing. I thought it was just a hobby or something I did at the time. So I had a couple people come to my senior high school musical that I was in. I was like, just give me an honest opinion if you think this is something I should pursue. It's like if I'm there, you know what I mean? If that's something I can make a life out of. And they all said yes. So I deferred from Syracuse, where I was supposed to go to school, and went to New York and just did it. Started auditioning and performing, and went to NYU instead, and stayed in the city, and then the rest is kind of history.
Cool.
I guess you could say, I mean, in terms of like songwriting and production, I think it probably started. My mother gave me your copy of Alanis Morissette's "Jagged Little Pill." I was just talking about earlier. And when I was, very young, when that would come out, and I would listen to that every night before I went to sleep. So songwriting production, I was like, I want to do this. I want to do that kind of thing. And then in terms of being playing in bands, would go to like local shows 7th and 8th grade and realize like, oh, this is really cool. This is something that I would love to do. Started a band with some people and started playing.
So, I heard Alanis Morissette, Aerosmith. How about you guys tell me some of your influences?
Sure.
Backwards.
Well, I mean, Alanis Morissette for sure. I mean, in terms of like that was Jagged Little Pill was that album. But I mean, in terms of influences, I love all different kinds of music, all different genres. One of my biggest influences, I would say, is probably Chris Corner from Sacred Purse or IMX. Have you ever heard that band? In terms of producer, songwriter, absolutely one of the biggest things. Trent Reznor, another one for sure in terms of production, producer, artist, songwriter, so on.
I grew up with a lot of like shock rock in the '90s, and then got into pop as I moved to the city. So as far as rock stuff, like Manson, huge, Rob Zombie, that whole like industrial metal of the like late '90s, early 2000s. And then as far as pop goes, Pink, Lady Gaga. As far as performers, like how I modeled myself as a frontman, Freddie Mercury, Bowie.
All the greats.
The great like queer singers of the world.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that's a great way to go.
Good to have role models.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up. I guess most people, you listen to what your parents played, but I'd gravitate towards certain things. So first, it was pretty. My parents liked the Beatles, so I didn't like all of it initially. But you know, one of the songs that came on it was weird because it had a trumpet in it, but it was still rock music. Penny Lane, and there was like, then at one point I was with my aunt, my mom's sister, and this song came on, and it's funny that we're in Arizona talking about this now. The song was 29 by the Gin Blossoms. And I was like, I just kept, and she gave me this cassette tape, and I wore it out. And my parents got me another one, and I wore that one out. And it just, I don't know, it rose from there, and then it got into, just went everywhere. So it was, if something, so Sinatra, depending on what mood I'm in. And then Aerosmith was, at the concert, it was just like watching this thing. It was like, oh my God, look at this, these guys that are just pissing excellence all over the thing. it was surreal. And the first Billy Joel concert I ever went to, and I only went to try and impress a girl, which is, I guess why any high school guy does anything or whatever. But like,
Exactly.
But then I ended up, falling in love with that music and what just the environment and what happens, the electricity in the air, stuff like that. And at the end of the concert, where he's doing Piano Man in Madison Square Garden, and he doesn't, he stops, and the lights come on, and the whole crowd sings the last, refrain of the chorus, and he just kind of sits there and looks, and I'm like, holy shit! I can't even imagine what that must feel like. So I mean, yeah.
Came from a lot of New Jersey basement punk shows, so a lot of what I do on stage is heavily influenced by that. But it goes back to getting started in bass in the first place was Bouncing Souls, Brian from them, and Chris number 2 from Anti-Flag. The way they are on stage had a heavy influence on how I tailor my performance.
Nice. Actually, now I have to share a little bit.
Oh, please
So,
do.
Anti-Flag is kind of what got me into what we're doing now.
Really?
They're a
Yeah.
very, very big influence on what I do as well. I've seen them way too many times, but there's no such thing as too many. So.
No, there isn't. So, I know you guys talked about a little bit about the tour, just how it's going, how much longer you have left. What is the most interesting or controversial event or aspect of tour that you guys have encountered?
On this tour?
Just this tour, or really any tour?
I mean, if we want to talk about this tour, we were in Vegas the other night, and there's this whole crowd of people just all around the bass player of The Offering because they were giving piercings backstage, and he's getting his belly button done. Meanwhile, the singer is laying on the floor after just getting his septum done, and everyone's just watching over this the shoulder of this piercing guy do the quarter on the floor. And it was just like. It was the most people I've seen in a room where someone was getting pierced at once.
Yeah.
They started a piercing
Usually,
shop.
they keep you behind the line usually. I mean, as far as like controversial things, we're on tour with the Janitorturers. Like it's like literally a band built on controversy. Like, which also, and they do amazing stuff on stage. They have for a long time, but the bass player of The Offering, the first band in this package, got on stage in Vegas and had Bible pages that were ripped out of the Bible, pierced through onto his chest, while he stood there crucified on stage. That was one. We were on tour with Cyclone 9 a year and a half ago, and he was on stage, Nero Ballin was on stage in Providence, Rhode Island. We had just driven 19 straight hours from Chicago to Providence. We rolled in, everyone was already there. Our bus rolled in, everybody cheered. No one had backline yet. The first band's about to start playing, we're just getting there. And he was on stage and he said, which is something I'm sure he said before, he said, "I want your blood, give me your blood." So someone broke a fucking beer bottle on the table and sliced his arm open and was like, "There it is!" And then was taken immediately to the hospital.
As one would be.
As one should be. Yeah,
There's
that was
100%
pretty
a tourniquet
controversial.
involved with that situation.
A lot of our tour stories have to do with our shit breaking down and not working. We don't have crazy party and cocaine stories. We have Anything else?
No. We're good on that.
Right. My mom doesn't know. We can't talk about it.
Yeah.
There was an incident where
My parents know, but I gotta tell them.
I was dealing with a legal issue, and a police officer, a sergeant, came in with his phone
I was talking about that
after
anyway.
after I mentioned that I was in a band and with our music video playing on it. He's like, "This is
It's you guys?
Oh, that's really good." I was like, "Oh, this is."
Thanks,
This is
officer.
kind Thanks very much, officer. It was kind of surreal. I don't know. That was.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's kind of controversial.
And then things kind of changed. They treated you a little differently.
It does. It did.
Interesting, yeah.
There's a pretty quick dynamic change.
Yeah, that we treated with respect. A lot of that.
Oh, yeah.
It was
It
good.
was very,
Okay.
it was very shocking.
But yeah, I guess nothing super no trashed
nothing-
hotel rooms or anything like
Nah,
that.
I don't do that.
Try not to do dickish thing, you know, like, and I'll never understand that. Like, this is a really nice hotel room. Let me break something.
Let's break up the windows and roast a goat in here or
I
whatever.
think if we ever do that, I would just pay for the hotel room. We were like in that level of band. And like, where Aerosmith coming through with like piles of cocaine on the table, we'd be like, all right, here you guys go, and just like, fix up that hotel
No,
room.
but they don't do that anymore,
I
though.
know, they can't.
He's got, what do you say is, yeah, I have about $3 on cream puffs now, and so I don't do that anymore. But yeah, break down, hit a deer on the last tour in the middle of the night in Texas, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we had to leave our bus in West Virginia once for a week.
Right.
And someone fixed it for us and got back to it. We made our way back to it.
We were leaking coolant on the side of the road, so we pulled over and we were like literally taking
Oh my
bottles
God.
off the ground, any plastic
Any
container
plastic
we could
bottle we
find,
had.
and just filling them up off a stream on the side
We
of the
were
highway
lucky
to fill
enough
up our
that
coolant tank.
yeah, that hill that we broke down on had a stream running
Like a
off.
freshwater spring coming down the mountain.
That we could fill up bottles of water and pour them into the radiator to keep going for
Cool
a
it
little
down.
while, at least to get to the gas station.
That was something.
Yeah.
MacGyver
We
the
carry
band.
coolant now.
Bill has fixed the buffer,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of MacGyvering the van, and your
Yeah.
belt.
Yeah, Bill fixed a muffler with his belt once. Like, at the side of the road, just like took his belt off.
Side of the Garden State
Redid
Parkway.
the muffler.
Fell off.
Tied it up to the.
Muffler just fell off.
Still has the belt.
Still has the
Still got
belt.
the belt. Still got the belt.
It was a good belt.
Was
Sturdy. Sturdy piece of equipment. All right.
So again, back to all you lovely gentlemen being musicians.
Sure.
What is your favorite aspect of the job? What do you love most about being a musician?
Getting to perform every night. That's all there is
Yeah,
to it.
it's
Love doing
that's
it.
special because we don't get to do it that often, you know. And we don't get to tour that often. We tour like twice or 3 times a year at most because it's expensive. We all have day jobs, so when we get to, for me anyway, when we get to do it, it's like that 30 minutes on stage means a lot more. You don't get to do it very often. You know what I mean? That's a favorite part.
Yeah, I think it's the getting something out there that wasn't done yet, or hasn't
Yeah.
been. And and you mentioned this before, the first time that you saw somebody singing your words. At
Oh,
you.
yeah.
Like something
Yeah.
that you, a very personal moment, or something that you wrote while you were, whatever, sitting on the edge
Right.
of the bed in the middle of the night and couldn't sleep, and you know, nursing a hangover and whatever, and had an idea and scribbled it down, and then just.
Subway on my
That's
notepad.
that somebody
I know
else
your
that
writing
resonated
process
with
now.
somebody else enough that they learned the
Yeah.
words.
Right.
It's still something I'm not used to. I can't get, I don't know how I don't know how people get used to that.
Fascinating, yeah.
It's always moving. So I think that's like the most fulfilling part. I think.
I can definitely identify with that. That mutual respect and connection.
Right.
Right. Yeah. When a song, I mean, I'm sure like when they're the songs that just hit you in a certain way.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And to think that you may have done that for somebody else is.
Right. 'Cause everybody, there's always a song you would go to when you're sad or when you're happy. Right. So if someone identifies enough to like, I'm in a bad mood, they put on some Echo Black to feel better, which I get. That like, people DM me all the time. Your songs help me get me through my day, things like that. And it's like the most ridiculous feeling to know that like someone I've never met, will probably never meet, maybe, you know, if they're in a different country or a part of the world we don't get to, felt connected enough to us in a way, and this is the internet and social media helping too, but like to learn and use our songs as a personal emotional tool. It's like
To get through it.
an honor. It's like
Something
every
we've all
single
done.
way, yeah. Exactly, because that's what we do, yeah.
Just the allowance of interpersonal connections and
Yeah.
relationships. That's a really nice thing. meet a lot of people.
Your world gets a lot bigger when you're in a touring band.
And now
My
we're
world is much larger than.
at a point now when we go on tour, we're starting to run into more familiar faces, and it's starting to feel a lot more comforting at home feeling when we're a 2-day drive away from our house.
Starting to get that home away from home feel.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we walked in today. There's a girl here who came to the Comedy Cry show we did 3 years ago in this town, and she brought us cupcakes. She brought me a pumpkin for my birthday, a cat, like all this nice stuff. I met this girl once in my life. It's so nice.
But
It's so cool.
It's the acknowledgement. It's like it's hard to be away from home. You have your cats, dog, girlfriends, boyfriends,
Right.
significant others. And you have to spend that time away. That's hard. It
Gets
can
harder.
be.
Yeah.
But people help make it easier. It's
True.
People
It's
are
like an
there.
extended family.
Yeah.
Almost. It's kind of like, oh, we're going back here. Let's go visit that spot again.
Right.
Let's do.
Yeah.
You come out of the microcosm of like going to work
That's
and home.
one of my favorite words.
It really is. It's just
Microcosm of what?
What we're saying is we get much more excited when people have pets with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I know you mentioned you all have day jobs. Do you mind if I ask what your day job is?
Sure. Oh yeah.
I actually run a recording studio. Producer, recording engineer, songwriter, and that's pretty much what I'm doing.
Which is probably a good place to say that he's not Felix.
I'm not Felix.
That this is not our.
I'm not. I'm
Permanent guitarist.
Yes, I'm Walter. I'm actually filling in for Felix. I was doing that. I actually had the honor and the privilege, honestly, of producing half and recording all of Dawn, the last album that was released at Nickelback.
So you knew guitar parts
familiar
already.
with it.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with it. So yeah.
This is the second tour he's done with us. This is
Yep.
like
Second tour.
One of the most conducive, creative
relationships. Yeah.
relationships, experiences.
Yeah.
No words.
Likewise, bro.
Stop it.
Likewise.
You stop.
Awesome. Anyway, I'm a bartender. And I work at a bar a block away.
A block away from the bar that I work at. It's a flexible gig.
It is. They let you go.
They let you go.
They let you go.
And you have a show. You take off. There are people who want your shift. So
I'm a spectral analyst at a metal recycling plant.
And what that means.
I determine the value of catalytic converters that are recycled by analyzing the chemical makeup of their insides. It's a weird job. Yeah, it is.
So most cars, for the people who don't know, for the mechanic.
I'm in the recycling industry. I'm an
Yeah.
industrial scientist. We'll leave it at that.
It does spreadsheets of metal.
I asked you what your favorite aspect was. What's your least favorite?
Social media.
Yeah.
If I wasn't in a band, I wouldn't have any. No way.
I mean, it's the time period where you can get away with not having a Facebook or MySpace or Twitter or Instagram, Snapchat, whatever it's come to. I just wish it stayed at MySpace. That was great. But
It was never gonna. I mean, there's,
You know,
it's all good and bad. There are
proto social
pros and
media.
cons, yeah.
it was
And
much
it brings,
better.
like I said before, it brings people together, and it does that. It also, I don't know. I've said it the other day. It was like the thing that about the internet is that anyone can be an artist, which also means that anybody can be an artist. So you know what I mean? Anybody can get out there and put their art out there and reach people. Also means that everyone who is a whatever can also do the same thing. So you have to weed through all the bullshit to get to the stuff that you want to actually listen to or
Things that are
create.
interesting.
Yeah, exactly. Things that actually speak to you. So there are pros and cons. I think the whole thing. It's just a lot of work.
It's
like
an
so much
work. It's a very interesting phenomenon with YouTube these days. So anyone that's got a YouTube following for whatever it is they do
For
on
anything.
YouTube
Yeah.
just decides they're a musician all of a sudden.
Right.
And the problem with the cycle of social media we're dealing with right now is it doesn't matter if they're good. In fact, oftentimes it ends up being more successful for the person in question if it's bad. If people complain about it, talk about it, make it into a meme, they'll show their friends, like, look at this garbage. They're just making so much money off of it. And really, they're musicians. There's no actual musical talent involved, but these are the videos that are getting millions of plays.
I mean, there's a thing to being a business, right? If you're on the Real Housewives, you decide to put a music video out or a song out, and because you're going to sell it, more power to you. That's another product for you to sell. I don't think that takes away from actual artists. I just think it makes the pool bigger. You know?
Well, it's like any art musician or different. It's just there's such with the internet, especially, everything is a lot more accessible. So being heard as a musician, as an artist, whatever, it just you're in a much larger and a much deeper at that. So it's more difficult to make it through to being heard, to utilize social media to get yourself out there, because everything is very, very saturated and very accessible.
There's a socioeconomic aspect of it too, where it's just, most people now, I understand, don't have cable or satellite TV. They don't have MTV, and even if they did, it doesn't matter. There's no music on it. So, or VH1, people get their entertainment, which is something everybody needs. You need to be entertained, and it's from YouTube. It's on their phone. Phones now come with data plans, and you don't even need an internet connection really to go on YouTube and just to be entertained. And it's just so it's whatever you happen to see there. It doesn't there is no quality control on the internet.
Are you not?
It's not to say that that's a bad thing, but it's
the way it is.
And it's everything's in flux. All the industries, they don't know what to do, how to infuse into this totally new. Because everything that ever was and is ever, and anything that's coming out now is on your phone.
Yeah. Everyone has a voice, and you can't necessarily cite these voices in MLA format here, so.
MLA format. For you kids at home, MLA format.
I think it's a very transitional period for the whole for the industry of this thing.
It's been a transition.
I think that's the part of this that I enjoy the least, is the industry aspect of that. It's an industry, and makes it sound like a machine or like an assembly line, which is kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess that.
You really have to keep your childlike sense of wonder about this, and just deal with that aspect of it, but still be aware that it's still music at heart.
There's no point in fighting it. Kids these days,
You will lose the fight against the internet.
every time. But it's just you have to stay aware. It's an interesting time.
And that's, I think, also the charm of touring too, because it kind of takes you back out and makes you realize like this is why we do it.
This is why we do this.
like
Right.
doing it. Like being able to go out and travel,
Sweating and bleeding and breaking sticks.
playing music every night.
And the spider bite.
It brings it back to home, so you're not at home, sitting on the computer, updating social media.
Right.
constantly. It's like
You're doing it on the bus instead.
exactly in the middle of
I do every
hours
fucking
of
day.
work, it's a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
It really is.
What do you guys have going on now? Like any projects in the works?
Couple things. We're slated we'll finish up the store on the 27th, and then we do the store leg in the Northeast with Moonfall. They're also out of New York City. Wonderful. And then we slated to be back in the studio in LA in January to do the EP or so. All those things going on. We do have another video going out as well for the ballad on the album. So we'll be out by the end of this year. Yeah. Thank you.
Very
Awesome.
Is there anything else that you guys want to add?
Thank you.
Thank you
for watching. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for coming. Thanks to everybody who's ever come or listened to this song.
Check out Mechanical Vampires.
This guy.
Mechanical Vampires.
Side
I just have to watch it blush during these things.